Welcome back to the Citizen channel. Hope you're all staying safe and well. And we have a match preview today, and it's last match for a little break, isn't it? The winter break, they're calling it. I'm not too sure. There's no international games, is there? So some of the players are obviously going to have a little rest, but they're not going anywhere warm. They're going to have to train in the cold. They're not being taken away anywhere nice and warm, which is unusual, but obviously with the situation with COVID, etc., I suppose it's to be expected. So we're going to have a look at Southampton versus Manchester City, 22nd of January 22, at St Mary's, a 5:30 p.m. kickoff. So, City match day 23. Obviously, it all varies. I mean, Burnley up to not even playing match day 18 yet, have they? I don't think, Burnley, but that's another story, isn't it? Please, we are monetised now. If you can help us out by watching any of the adverts, if they're of any interest to you, or obviously following any links that help the channel out going forward, of course, now that we're monetised. And please, any thumbs ups appreciated, and press that notification button if you like these and you want to know when they're coming out. And tell your friends, please. We're growing nicely now. Lots of views are growing. Everything's growing. But if you can spread the word, we'll be very, very grateful. Right, yeah, so we're going to have a look at City and Southampton. I mean, we're going to have a look at Southampton, see how they're doing. Yeah, they're doing okay, actually, yeah, but obviously Mr. Hasenhüttl's got a few little queries at the moment, which is sort of rattling him just a little bit. We'll talk about that in a minute. The match is being shown on Sky Sports Premier League, so you can watch it on there. I'll actually be going down, guys, so for my first ever. I've been to a lot of grounds, but I never went to the Dell, sadly. So I used to love seeing it on telly. Very, very old, quaint ground, very funny shaped ground. And I've never been to St Mary's, but finally I've got the chance to go. So if you're down there, keep your eye out for me and give us a shout if you spot me. I'm very, sometimes I probably won't have my glasses on. I usually have my lenses in if I go to football, but you'll probably still recognise this thing, won't you? So give us a shout if you see me anyway. Say hello, it'd be great to see you. Yeah, Simon Hooper's a ref for this one. Yeah, he doesn't do it. He's on his 8th top flight match of the campaign. He's done 17 matches in total, but he's not always doing Premier League games. He's shown 68 yellow cards, so that's 4 a game. So, yeah, a bit more than the average, I think. And he's shown 1 red card as well. So we'll see how card happy he is with this one. It's not usually particularly a dirty, untidy game or rough game, is it, against Southampton? His linos are Simon Long and Derek Eaton. VAR, we got Darren England again. He was the VAR for Chelsea, I think. And making the coffee for Darren England is Gary Bezic this week. And the 4th official is Andre Mariner. Yeah, the last time out at St Mary's, it's a pretty hard-fought 1-0 win, wasn't it? Sterling got the winner in that one at St Mary's on the 19th of December 2020. Good game for the neutral. On balance of play, we were a little fortunate to get away with this. We worked hard, but a bit of lack of clinicality, that's a good word, isn't it? Clinicality in the last third sort of cost us, and similarly with Southampton. They could have scored. They had a couple of decent half chances. They perhaps could have scored 1 or 2 themselves. But I think the stats reflect that as well. If you look at the stats, Southampton had 9 shots, 3 on target. We had 11 shots, 5 on target. So not much in it. And look at the possession. We had 52% to their 48%. That's low. So I'm not expecting too much different with this one, to be honest with you. I think hopefully we might push that percentage up a little bit higher and keep them at bay. And let's face it, a 0-0 at the Etihad earlier in the season also tells us a lot, doesn't it? Our overall record at their place, at their ground, is in the league, is we've played 43. We've only won 14. We've drawn 11 and lost 18. We've scored 49 and let 57. It's not great. Please check out my little History Boys feature. I go back to February 1995 when Mr. Alan Ball was in charge of Southampton the season before he came to us. Weren't we lucky? Against Mr. Brian Horton, of course. So please check out that History Boys feature if you get a chance. I enjoy doing those, and I think they're quite interesting. And I do stuff around the time as well. It's not all football. It's mainly football, but there's bits and pieces as well to do with what was happening in the UK on television, at the cinema, stuff like that. Just to get your old memory going if you're old like me. Odds to win the match. Yeah, please, I don't condone gambling when the fun stops. Stop. City, you can get a 2-7 on with William Hill to win the game. So that's not bad, actually, for City to win the game. Generally, it's 1-4 on. You get 5-1 the draw. And if you fancy a Southampton win, if you're a Southampton fan tuning in for this, please check out my odds show as well. That's a bit more detail. 10-1 for the Saints to win this one. How will it pan out? Let me have a think. Let me have a ponder with this. I mean, injuries. Southampton Road not too bad. They've got Will Smallbone out with a calf injury. That doesn't sound right, does it? Tino Livramento, he's got knee problems, haven't we all, mate? And Alex McCarthy's got a thigh problem. So, of course, Musa Gineppo is ineligible. He's been suspended, I think. I don't know, he's been a naughty boy, obviously. Do sit quite comfortably. They're sitting 12th at the moment. They played 21 and they've got 24 points. Although Hassan Huttle obviously had a bit of a dig at obviously these COVID games being cancelled, and if teams sign players, they're allowed to play. So he's having a bit of a whinge. I mean, obviously he had a point, but it wasn't a very good point. It wasn't a very big point, but yeah, he's having a bit. And I thought, well, they're not doing too bad, 12th place. But then you look at it and you sort of perhaps understand why. It's due to perhaps only having won 2 of the last 10 games. So things aren't going great. I mean, obviously, if they win 2 of the next 10 games, it's probably talking relegation form. So obviously, as I said, they're comfortable in 12th at the moment. So I think he's a little bit rattled, but I don't expect him to change his style of play too much against City. He'll show us obviously due respect, as we will them, but I don't expect too much of a change. I mean, the Dell wasn't the greatest ground for City, and although we've only played a few matches, we played 12 games at St Mary's so far. It's not a bogey ground, but we're not not as successful as the other grounds. Let's not forget the last 9 or 10 years we've had quite a good team. We've been competing at the top of the league, etc., and top 4, that sort of thing. And so it's quite a little bit of a bogey ground because we've never scored more than 3 there, for one thing. So people are coming up with 4-0s and 5-0s. I don't know where they're getting that from. We played 12 there at St Mary's. We've won 6, which is fair enough, but we've drawn 2 and lost 4. So yeah, and those little defeats are spread about a little bit. As the most recent defeat, of course, was July 2020, so it wasn't that long ago. 1-0 defeat, obviously, in the COVID-affected, the big COVID-affected season. They do like to play football, but as they proved at the Etihad, they can also be quite organised and frustrating, certainly for us. And they do create chances. If you remember rightly at the Etihad, they created chances as well. And I say it was 0-0, but it could have gone their way as well. So I don't expect this to be too different. I think City psychologically are on a bit of a high at the moment. Obviously, we've got this winning run going, and although we're not at full pelt, I don't think City at the moment. I think we should be okay, but I don't expect a hat full of goals, and I won't be surprised if it's just a 1-goal margin this game, guys. Please let me know what you think. But I think it'll be a tight game. I think it'll be a 1-0 or a 2-1. Something like that. So let me know what you think anyway. But I think it will be a tough game. I just want to win it and get to this international break. I just really do. I'd hate to draw or lose this one. Yeah, as I say, as far as City concerned, we've got a break. I expect Pep to field a very strong team for this. He definitely won't take Southampton and Hassan Huttle lightly, that's for sure. Certainly after the 0-0 at the Etihad was so disappointing. Seemingly out for COVID, of course, for City was Zinchenko and Aki. They were the only 2 guys who Cole Palmer didn't feature, but obviously he was shown with a couple of other lads watching the game, so he's obviously not got COVID, and he certainly wouldn't have featured in this game anyway, I don't think. So only Zinchenko and Aki could probably be back from COVID, but I don't expect either of them to feature, guys. I don't think that either of them will be in the starting 11. But the interesting thing will be if it brings either Gundogan, Jesus or Diaz back into the fray. From the team that played Chelsea. I mean, will Laporte drop out or will Stones drop out for Diaz? Foden wasn't at his greatest against Chelsea. Will he perhaps take and step him down for Gundo in a game against Southampton? Put more of the workmanlike and the methodical way of doing things that Gundogan does. Will Grealish didn't have the greatest game against Chelsea. Will he make way for Jesus, who sort of likes it at St Mary's? We can always remember that last minute goal, can't we? Seasons back. So will he make way? I expect two of those to happen. I expect two changes. I expect two changes to the team that played Chelsea. So this is my team. I'm going to go Edison, Walker, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones. So I'm saying that Stones will keep his place, and obviously Diaz will come in for Laporte. Might put Laporte's nose out of joint, but hopefully he's a bit better than he was over the summer period when he was talking about wanting to go and all this sort of thing. But I expect that. Rodgers must be a shoo-in, obviously, and then Bernardo, KDB, definitely. And I think Foden will keep his place. As I say, I won't be surprised if Gundogan comes in, but I think Foden will keep his place. And I think Sterling will as well. But I think Jesus will replace Grealish. Let me know what you think. Obviously, Gundogan will miss out again, which isn't great. So this is why I think he might sneak in, because he didn't start against Chelsea, did he? But, Gundogan will understand. He'll understand his manager, and well, whatever Pep says goes, doesn't it? So let me know what you think, guys. Anyway, so Edison, Walker, Cancelo, Diaz, Stones, Rodri, Bernardo, KDB, Foden, Sterling, and Jesus. If I don't get at least 9 of those right, I'll be very disappointed. Or there may be an outbreak of COVID, etc., that I don't know about as I'm recording this, because it's a couple of days before Pep's press conference. I've checked the news. There's nothing untoward from what I can see. So let me know your thoughts, guys, on that one. Match quirky stats. Here you go, some good quirky stats before we get to the last couple of items. Southampton drew 0-0 in the reverse fixture, of course, early in the season, but haven't avoided defeat in both league meetings with City since the 2002-2003 campaign. So let's hope that carries on. Southampton are unbeaten their last 7 home Premier League games. They've won 3, drawn 4. Their best unbeaten run at St Mary's since a run of 9 between March and October 2016. So let's hope we finish that. City have won their last 12 Premier League games in a row by an aggregate score of 34-7 since losing 2-0 to Palace in October. They have won 36 points, 13 more than any other Premier League side. Let's carry on. After keeping 5 clean sheets in 8 Premier League games between September and November, Southampton have conceded in each of their last 10 matches. Yeah, they started very well, but this is what I think, Hasenhutl's getting a bit frustrated. They've conceded in each of their last 10 matches in the competition, shipping 21 goals. So let's hope they'll ship a few more. City have opened the score in more different Premier League games than any other side this season, going on to win all 17 in which they've scored first. So let's score first and carry that on. As well as having the tightest defence in the Premier League this season with just 13 conceded, City have also shipped the lowest ratio of goals before half-time. Just 2 of their 13 goals conceded have come before half-time. So let's make it half-time and full-time. That'll do for me. Southampton striker Armando Broja has scored in his first 4 home Premier League starts, netting 1 goal each time. In Premier League history, the only player to score in his first 5 home starts is Gary Penrice for Queen's Park Rangers between September and December 1992. So let's hope he doesn't. All right, I'll give him a consolation goal at 3-1 or 4-1 or something like that. But yeah, that's a great quirky stat. City's Kevin De Bruyne has been involved in 11 goals in the last 14 Premier League starts, 9 goals and 2 assists, scoring the winner against Chelsea, of course, in the last game. De Bruyne has assisted in all 3 of his league starts at St Mary's, 4 in total, with only Harry Kane assisting more goals at St Mary's as an away player with 5. Quirky stat. Match Day Live, if you're into that, obviously starts an hour before the game on the City website. Paul Dickoff and Nedum Anua are the guys guesting this week, because obviously they'll be there before, in between, and briefly after as well. So if you watch that, I won't be watching that because I'll be down on the south coast and enjoying the sun. But obviously it might be sunny. I think it'll be a bit cold though, won't it? But it's supposed to warm up a little bit at the moment. So there you go. And tune in. Obviously, I won't be getting my match report out Saturday night, guys. It'll be obviously Sunday, probably lunchtime, when I get the match report out. Hopefully on fingers crossed on the City win. And of course, the player ratings with mine and the Manchester Evening News. So please press that notification button, as I said, and join me for the match report. Let's report on a winner. That'll be great. As I say, let me know any comments, guys. If you've been down to St Mary's, anywhere I could go, anywhere. If I've got an hour or 2 to spare, anything I can get to see, anything. Obviously, when I went down to Arsenal, I went over to look at the old Highbury, etc. So if there's anything, I don't know where the Dell is. I've not looked yet. If the Dell's anywhere near, but as I say, any advice if you guys have been down there. Anyway, I will see you all very, very soon. Thanks for watching. There we go. Do the rest of the day. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. To meet here again on the Citizen channel. I only ask one thing, don't I? Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.